We're now looking at Module 1 of the improvisation etude on Never Say Never from APP Level 1. And as with the other levels, I start by playing a backing track and getting the student to clap a beat. And again, I quite like the idea of trying various types of beat, like half notes. So join me. That feels nice, doesn't it? Now in a moment, I'm going to switch to quarter notes, but I'm going to do it like this. Now other way around. Good. Now the thing is, many students can't do that, or can't do it very well, and it's good to drill that and make sure they can do it before you go on. Don't just say that'll do, but make sure that they can do a beat. But it helps, I think, if you make the beat fun. And for small students, I particularly like doing this. For instance, head, shoulders, knees and toes. What? Toes. Head. Oh, I've done it wrong. You know what I mean? In other words, you can get them to do all sorts of things where you actually do it on different parts of the body. It just makes it more fun and stops them thinking about it too much, but I've generally found it makes them also do it nicely in time. Once they've got that feeling really comfortable, we then go on to the written music, which is in a particular rhythm. Let's try that now. So this is letter B. Good. Now this particular student's got it fine. So next thing I'm going to try is just to vary it slightly. I want you to do the white notes clapped and the black notes on your knees. White notes clapped, black notes on your knees. We'll do it together, so let's see how we get on. So starting with a clap. Other way around. Good. Now I think that makes it more of a physical thing, doesn't it? It actually feels more like you're playing like a drummer or something, rather than just clapping. So I think that's a good little test. Now this piece is in D minor, and the first thing I would do is not go to letter C, which has got all the notes, which is all 5 notes, D, E, F, G, A, but actually play the rhythm on one note, D. So let's start by playing the rhythm on just the note D with your thumb. D or E. D or E. Now you can tell, can't you, do you agree that the E sounds nice in some places? The whole point of this is that you're experimenting to see where D sounds nice, where E sounds nice, and if you do it all week, at home, you end up with quite a good version where you think I'm getting the maximum out of those 2 notes. Let's now try the same rhythm on 3 notes, which is D, E, F. This is really getting exciting, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, G as well if you want. Good. A couple of things strike me there. One of them is that when you play more than 2 notes, you're starting to phrase it in various ways, aren't you? Like, suddenly you realise that a slur sounds nice, so it's not always non-legato, or you've got staccato notes and so on. In other words, it's making you do things which perhaps are slightly different. we've used 4 notes so far, D, E, F and G. There are actually 5 notes available. You can use A as well. And when you look at the melody at letter C, it's using all 5 notes. Now the interesting thing is, I've written this melody, it's quite nice, but your melody, which you come up with, isn't necessarily any worse. In fact, it could be better. So I'm really just doing an example to show you what you can do, but by the time you get to here, you've probably done it anyway. Would you like to try my melody, just to see what you think of it? So what I asked my young student here to do was actually do her own melody the second time around. She didn't do too badly at all. Mine's pretty good though, isn't it? Now, here's the exciting bit. We're now going to go on to using the left hand only. And the left hand is a really simple part to play. Play me the first chord of the left hand. So it's just a bare fifth, D and A. And you play a number of those, and then you've got a G, and then 2 staccato A's. So putting all that together, you get this effect. Good. Now I'll stop you there, partly to say to teachers, if the student's doing it right, you don't always have to play it through twice as well. You can say, that's great, we can move on now. Now, rather than putting the 2 hands together straight away, which is already pretty tricky, what I'd like you to do now is actually try your own melody. And I'm going to do what the teacher can do, and as I'm going to demonstrate by playing your melody using the 5 notes, which is completely different from what we've been doing, okay? I'm getting quite excited and thinking what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm using some 16th notes, aren't I? You don't have to do that, but what I'm saying is, do you want to try your own little idea? Now what I'd like you to do, if you don't think it's too much of a stretch, is come up with a little tune of your own without the track. Just play a little tune for me. Stop there and play it again. Now that's actually quite a nice syncopated little melody, but see if we compare the track and see if I agree with the way you're hearing it. I think I do. Now different melody. Interesting enough, I didn't realise you were starting with a rest. Da da dee 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 dee. So already I had slightly the wrong idea about it. Now every student who comes up with their own melody comes up with something which is very distinctively theirs, and this is such a case that we've got a student here who's coming up with something which is very distinctively hers, not mine. And because she's repeated it, I think she also is starting to own it as well. Now, are you brave enough to try and play your melody now with the left-hand chords at the same time? I think it's easier for students in some ways to do their own melody because they're not having to read 2 hands. So play your own melody. You can repeat it if you want, but with the left hand as well. Nice. I quite liked the idea that you ended on the E there. It sounded quite nice, didn't it? Now, I reminded her that she should also change to the G's and the A's, which she didn't do the first time round, but she did it the second time round with a little bit of prompting, and it sounded really nice. Very nice idea as well. Thank you very much. That's the end of this little module.